Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs and welcome to this review of Shamrock Rovers' win in Norway against Molde. What a fantastic victory it was. But before we get into that, please check out our Patreon service if you'd like to support the channel. The link will be in the description and in the comments. It works out as basically €2 a week. Check that out. There's a video on it that's free for people to watch, and that basically tells you what it's about. So the game itself, Shamrock Rovers, fantastic win, fantastic victory for Shamrock Rovers. This was, and I kind of expected them to win. This is a strange thing now, the way they're going in Europe. Molde away was always going to be a difficult tie, there's no doubt about it. I think the first 20 to 25 minutes or so, Shamrock Rovers, it reminded me of the Vienna game in a sense. The only difference was Vienna created more chances in that phase, but they were working Molde out a little bit. Molde couldn't get through them. Shamrock Rovers were allowing them to play down the sides, etc., etc. And the more the half went on, the more Rovers came into the game. And of course, right in half time, 42 minutes, we have the red card. Brilliant play by Shamrock Rovers. Mandrew lays it off to Watts. Lovely ball into space where Noonan's already on the move. Michael Noonan, we'll talk about him properly in a minute, clips the pass to the defender. It's a ridiculous challenge with the defender, I have to say. He goes in using his wrong foot, his left foot from the side, but also there was no need to make the tackle. I think if he runs back towards his goal, he can deal with it better. But that's not Shamrock Rovers' fault. The red card comes, and Molde down to 10 men. Now you feel Rovers can really win this match. Pico Lopez had a chance actually from the free kick. A difficult chance though for him, I think. Yeah, Shamrock Rovers' team, first of all, was interesting because with debuts from Ed McGinty, Matt Healy and Michael Noonan, they played their usual system. McGinty was in goal. Right wing back was Hoonahan this time. He played right wing back. Danny Grant, the other player made a debut, was left wing back notably. Centre backs then, as we expected, would be Lopez in the middle, Cleary to the right, and Lee Grace on the left-hand side of that. Then the midfield was a bit of a box midfield again. They like to do that, and there was a bit of interchangeability here, I felt. At times McAneff was sitting alongside Dylan Watts, and you had Matt Healy and Mandrew as the two ahead of them. But at times Healy rotated McAneff as well, I noticed in the game, so there's a bit of flexibility there as well. And Michael Noonan played up front on his debut, the 16-year-old. Into the second half, it was half time, it was 0-0 obviously, and into the second half, Rovers pressed right up. I thought they'd do that anyway. They did something similar against Rapid Vienna in the second half. I think the plan would have been to do that anyway, but the fact that Molde were down to 10 men, they really did push up, and they pushed up on them fairly early, and on the 57th minute, Rovers managed to take a deserved lead. They pressed them very high up. Dylan Watts actually, they didn't win the ball as such. Dylan Watts did win the ball eventually, but they were pressing right up. Mandrew would press right up. Watts would press right up. Noonan was in a good position as well, and it's a mistake as such from the Molde defender. But Watts was very well to win the ball and without foul. And it was one of them where you kind of said to yourself, you know, the ref could easily give a free here. But Watts was brilliantly, another assist for Watts, plays a ball across, keeper's out of position, and Noonan does brilliantly to flick it in with his left foot. And the amazing thing about that goal, from a Michael Noonan perspective, he's now the youngest player ever to have scored in European football. Let that sink in. Club level, he's ahead of Lukaku. He was the youngest. The likes of Lamine Yamal, etc., etc. It's a night he'll never forget, and he was fantastic. And you'll hear people say, you know, what a debut for a 16-year-old, or he played really well for a 16-year-old. You're going to hear a lot of that. He played really well regardless of his age. He was brilliant. His hold-up play, his movement, his decision-making. A young man who really understands the game. Like, really understands the game. You can see it. We've a few talented strikers in this league, as we know at the moment. Mason Amelia being the other one in terms of young Irish talented strikers, and he was man of the match for me. Even if he didn't score, he was man of the match. He was sensational. Other players that played really well for Rovers, I thought Danny Mandrew grew into the game. Healy had a very solid debut. Player I like. I watched him for Cork an awful lot. He had a strike, actually, a very good strike that just went wide too. And ultimately, in the second half in particular, Molde didn't look like scoring. They didn't really look like scoring actually in the game, I have to say, in general. But particularly in the second half, it wasn't a case of Rovers were 1 up and could they've got a second goal, is the question. They did have a chance with Aaron Green there. Probably was better off going across the goalkeeper. It was a nice flick ball through by Danny Mandrew again, actually. But it's a great result. The only downside, I think, for Rovers of the night is 2 yellow cards. Dylan Watts is suspended for second leg and Dan Cleary suspended for second leg. I would say Watts is unlucky to get a yellow card. I think the Norwegian, makes a meal of it big time. But I think Cleary, I think it was a stupid yellow card that he picked up. He just wraps himself around the player coming out. But Rovers had enough players back and it was pretty much on the edge of the area. There was no need. He wasn't really stopping what you would call a proper counter attack. Rovers had enough players back and in position. He should have trusted his players, in my opinion. But it's a cheap second yellow to pick up, or second yellow card to pick up, which means he is now suspended. Obviously, they have a game on Sunday against Bohemians, which is sandwiched right in between the two legs, and Bows probably fancy their chances because of that in many ways, but Rovers were very good in the night. I thought overall tactically again very aware, very experienced, very, very good. You've seen this type of performance from them recently before, and luckily for them, I suppose on his debut as well, Ed McGinty didn't have much to do. He didn't have anything to do actually, Ed McGinty, to be fair, and that's what you want, I suppose. But again, a great night for Irish football. Great night for Shamrock Rovers. Very good performance again. Hopefully they'll finish the tie off now in the second leg. You do worry about particularly, Dylan Watts being suspended. He really does make them tick, doesn't he? And then they've got other players who can come in. The likes of Gary O'Neill could come in, etc. Josh Honahan might go to that position that Cleary's in, but will Clark be available to play left wing back, for example? Could shift Grant to the right, maybe. But Honahan would be fine there actually, but you'd miss some of his dynamism going forward. He was good in this game as usual as well. But it was a really, really good performance by Shamrock Rovers. Brilliant performance by Michael Noonan, I have to say. And that's it, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Matchday vlogs coming up very, very soon. First game of the season, Shelbourne versus Derry City at Tallaght Park. And on Sunday, it'll be Shamrock Rovers and Bohemians, Premier Division shows, etc., etc. So keep an eye on all that good stuff. And we'll talk to you soon. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.